So yeah, guys, what can I say? That truth hurts? Well, he sure hurt Cena, right? Truth cost John Cena the tag team match against Cody, Rhodes, and Jey Uso. Awesome. Fans and fellow superstars rallied behind Truth, spurring his comeback 6 days later at Money in the Bank. Truth emerged from the crowd at the climax of Saturday's pay-per-view, costing Cena his tag team match against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. And the bot fans are claiming that Truth's return was all work? Nah, come on. TKO made a mistake and truly released R-Truth. They got caught red-handed. Triple H is a snake! And we know that. And Triple H goes to that post-Money in the Bank press conference with that smug look of his. That bullshitter said it was all part of the show. That's bull. TKO realized their mistake, and due to the fans' backlash, they had no choice but to bring Truth back to WWE. Some fans can be so obnoxious. Come on, Truth did post on social media that he got released. Truth and many of his colleagues were legit pissed when this unfolded. You can see how happy and emotional Kathy Keeley was when R-Truth returned. So no, I ain't buying that this was all work. If this was work, how come Carlito is not back? How come Sarah Logan is not back? Because it wasn't work. None of this was work. Like I said before, Carlito and Sarah Logan were released the same day as R-Truth. The fans' backlash made it happen. We, the people, we have the power, we have the voice. It's the power of the fans that brought Truth back. And as soon TKO realized R-Truth's worth, TKO and WWE got a new Ron Killings t-shirt. How convenient! And of course they are going to make money with that. And WWE will never admit they messed up. Just be honest, Triple H, and take that L. Stop the cap, goddammit! Let me just finish my drink here because there's a lot to talk about. This Money in the Bank event featured several highlight reel moments. And speaking of highlights, there were too many to count in the Money in the Bank ladder matches. Seth Rollins and Naomi emerged victorious in their respective matches, guaranteeing them a title match at a time and place of their choosing. Here we are with the 2025 WWE Money in the Bank results, grades and recap. Before we address this, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell. We have weekly WWE-related content for you. By doing that, you're also helping us with our channel's algorithm. We truly appreciate it. Okay, let's start with the women's ladder match highlights. Man, this was a chaotic women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And surprisingly enough, well, I'm not that surprised, but yeah, there were a lot of empty seats there. Even though Michael Cole kept lying about the attendance numbers all night. Impressive entrances by the female wrestlers, not gonna lie. My first favorite ring entrance of the night was Alexa Bliss, then Rhea Ripley. The crowd went nuts as always. No surprise there. Julia with her yellow costume, that was kinda cool. Last but not least, Stephanie V. You gotta give her credit, guys. She had 3 matches over the last 48 hours. This woman is unbelievable. Ripley's physicality served her well as she systematically dismantled her opponents, but the former women's world champion drew too much attention to herself. Perez countered a razor's edge, sending Ripley crashing into a rope-leaning ladder. Perez followed up with a beautiful springboard moonsault onto Ripley. Instead of retrieving the briefcase, Perez and Julia wisely chose to remove Ripley entirely. The match concluded with Ripley and Bliss racing up the ladder, only for Naomi to hurl them off face first into another ladder. Naomi sprinted up the ladder, surveyed her surroundings and unclipped the briefcase. A solid ladder match that showcased WWE's evolving women's scene. Julia's presence also elevated the match. I think Naomi is a reliable choice who can benefit from the briefcase. So, there you go. Naomi defeated Alexa Bliss, Julia Perez, Rhea Ripley and Stephanie V by retrieving the Money in the Bank briefcase. Yeah, that was intense. I give this one a C+. Next, we have Dominic Mysterio versus Triple A's Octagon Jr. Octagon fought with spirit in his second match of the day, after that Worlds Collide event and the deck was stacked. Rapid techniques and aerial offense. Octagon's springboard moonsault looked crisp, and his crucifix bomb and fisherman's neck break had snap. A Liv Morgan distraction allowed Mysterio to take control, landing a 619 and a frog splash for the finish. This was a solid match and a fun surprise addition to the card. It's great to see WWE give AAA the extra shine, but the crowd wasn't invested in a short match with minimal build and a participant they don't know well. I mean, nobody knew this Hexagon or Octagon character. Well, I didn't know. The AAA star who won a six-man tag team match earlier at Saturday's Worlds Collide crossover event got to a hot start in this Intercontinental Championship match. Dominic Mysterio defeats Octagon via pinfall to retain his Intercontinental title. I give this one a C. Next we have Lynch versus Valkyria. In this one, if Lynch wins, Valkyria has to raise her hand and acknowledge her former mentor as superior. What the fuck? If Valkyria wins, Lynch won't be able to challenge for the title so long as her pupil is champion. Valkyria out-wrestled Lynch in their previous title match at Backlash. Lynch wisely adopted a brawling approach, seeking to beat down the champ instead of outmaneuvering her. Lynch effectively executed her game plan early, grinding down her opponent. Valkyria capitalized on the few openings she found, dazing Lynch with rapid-fire kicks and impressive power moves, like a deadlift powerbomb. Lynch showed off her technical skills with a disarmer, but Valkyria countered into a single-leg Boston Crab. With everything at stake, the intensity picked up and eclipsed their previous match. Valkyria crushed Lynch with a diving leg drop off the barricade. Lynch responded with a manhandle slam off the middle rope. The action spilled back outside, exchanging signature moves on the hard floor. Dramatically, both women dove into the ring, microseconds before being counted out. I didn't like that bit at all. That really didn't make sense at all. It was so forced and pointless. Moving on post-match, Valkyria reluctantly raised Lynch's hand. Lynch demanded that Valkyria continue raising her hand for the remaining three sides of the audience to see. Valkyria conceded, but Lynch wasn't satisfied. To further demean her former student, Lynch told Valkyria to put the title around her waist. Valkyria did so before planting Lynch with a German suplex and a Nightwing. Valkyria walked off as Lynch laid flat in the middle of the ring. A sequel, almost on par with their original. The finish kept both women strong while leaving room for more. Great work. There you go. Lynch defeated Valkyria to win the Women's Intercontinental title. Let's give this one a C+. And Alicia Taylor announces the Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. I don't know if you guys remember last Friday on SmackDown, Rollins did execute a bold plan to improve his chances at the Money in the Bank event. And then Rollins' faction softened up Andrade, Knight and Penta before Money in the Bank. Well, honestly, Rollins put a major target on his back, and his three opponents immediately sought payback. Sikoa, who also had a run-in with Rollins on Friday, laughed as Rollins was beaten down. Sikoa's confidence was misplaced. After all, he'd made plenty of enemies himself. Rollins got the better of an extended exchange with Sikoa, curb-stomping the bloodline leader. El Grande Americano retrieved possibly the tallest ladder in WWE history from beneath the ring, a ladder planted by Chad Gable's American-made pupils. And not just a mere ladder. The sponsor of that Money in the Bank ladder was Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. Well, I'm not surprised because even the WWE tables have sponsors. So, El Grande Americano placed his head between the center rungs of the ladder and spun in circles, knocking down his opponents like a steel tornado. Then Americano gingerly strolled up the enormous ladder but was cut off by Penta's headbutt. The match, well, it kicked into overdrive from there. Americano climbed a ladder leaning against the outside corner of the ring, then rode a second ladder into the center ladder like a swashbuckling Captain Jack Sparrow. After that, he just kept suplexing everyone like Brock Lesnar. Meanwhile, Penta goes to the ladder and tries to get the briefcase, but Seth Rollins won't let him succeed. Bron Breakker sprinted down the ramp. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed come to aid Seth Rollins. Rollins' heavies don't waste time clearing the field before turning their attention to Sikoa. But before they could pounce, Jacob Fatu's music hit. Bron Breakker spears JC Mateo, but Jacob Fatu exchanged blows with Bron Breakker outside the ring. Inside the ring, Fatu planted Reed with an unbelievable pop-up Samoan drop followed by a suicide dive. Jacob Fatu, then M, set up for his leader, Solo Sikoa. Sikoa climbs the ladder, but with the briefcase just out of reach, Fatu snatches Solo's ankle. "Solo, I hate you!" Fatu shouted before yanking Sikoa from the ladder. Then Fatu just walks off, and Seth Rollins, after a brief interruption from Knight, unhooks the briefcase. This wasn't the best men's Money in the Bank ladder match in recent memory, but, you know, the multiple storylines were incorporated and advanced. Seth Rollins wielding the briefcase could make him a major threat, and honestly, the high spots were terrific. I can't wait to see what's going to happen later on Monday Night Raw. There you go. Rollins defeated El Grande Americano, Andrade, Knight, Penta, and Solo Sikoa by retrieving the briefcase. I give this one a B+, and I'm not giving an A because I actually wanted LA Knight to win this. The man deserves so much better. And here's the last match of the night. Some people loved this match and some hated it. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul. The cohesion between Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, former undisputed tag team champions, was apparent from their matching gear. The fan favourites got to a strong start. But Logan Paul and Cena isolated Uso before long. Rhodes became increasingly frustrated at how well his opponents dissected Uso. Last week, Cena and Paul struggled to get on the same page. They were more cohesive this week, but their partnership could not sustain the weight of their egos. Paul tagged himself into the match, inciting Cena to do the same. This escalated to shoving and shouting matches, giving Uso the space to tag Rhodes in. The villains rallied long enough to hit Rhodes with a combination knockout punch and attitude adjustment, forcing Uso to break the pin. Their harmony was short-lived as Paul's inexperience continued rearing its head. Paul tried to break up a pinfall with a springboard splash but landed directly on his partner as Rhodes rolled away. The back half of the match was riddled with big moves. One of the more creative spots featured a first-person drone shot. The drone flew to the center of the ring and over to Paul's hand. Rhodes leaped to the top rope, flattening Paul with a superplex. Uso added insult to injury with an Uso splash. Cena looked poised to win the match before a masked assailant attacked Cena. The individual removed his mask, revealing himself to be R-Truth, who was released from the company last week. The shocking return gave Rhodes the leverage to hit across Rhodes for the win. What a match. It wasn't a technical classic, but the back half was great sports entertainment. The drone spot was clever, Paul's springboard moonsault was perfect, and Truth's return was one of the best surprises in recent memory. If wrestling is about moments, you won't find many better ones this year. Rhodes and Uso defeated Cena and Paul via pinfall. Grade A+ for sure, and that's because of R-Truth's return. So that's it for today, folks. So, what do you guys think of Truth's return? Was it work? Did Triple H really played us all? Did you enjoy Money in the Bank? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later on after Monday Night Raw.